What's up, guys? This is Livin the Dream Podcast, and I'm Sam, and today we have the long-awaited walk-around of Jolene. I know we've talked about doing it, and it's just never really come to fruition yet. To be honest with you, there was a lot of editing that had to occur for it, so I wanted to make sure that I had the best representation of Jolene and gave you guys the best possible video that we can give you. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, you might just swing on over to Spotify video or YouTube. It will all be there, and you can watch and see all of the neat details. I will say the truck is further along than it is in the video that you're going to see today, but if you stick around all the way to the end, you just might get a glimpse of her in her full finished form. So let's dive right into it. Here we go. All right, girls and gals, this is the long-awaited walk-around of Jolene. We promised it in previous episodes. It just didn't work out at the truck show. So
we do have clips we're going to drop.
We do have clips we're going to drop. There's plenty of fucking footage. This is now an award-winning truck.
Been on television.
Has been, yeah.
Took us all by surprise.
Yeah, none of us expected it, but it definitely showed out. So, Josh, we're going to have you just give us a little walk around and describe the truck, man. Tell us about it.
So, I guess I want to start off by asking, have you dropped it? I know you've dropped pictures of it in the build process. Have you dropped a picture of it when we got it? Okay, so we're gonna drop one right in here.
So we'll put the OG picture of the truck before it started.
Yeah, so it does not do. I can walk around this truck all day today, and for the guys that the viewers that didn't see what this truck was, it does no justice. So we'll drop a picture of what it was when I picked it up a year and a half ago. Well, not quite a year and a half, but almost a year and a half ago. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. So, is there anything in particular you want to touch on right off, or where are we going with this?
So what is different on it now?
Everything, dude.
Well, okay. So everything is different, but let's just So we'll start at the cab of the truck. We'll work our way around and go from there.
Okay. So, man, honestly, the only thing I didn't do to this truck was pull the cab off the frame and pull the engine and transmission out of it. We've done.
So what kind of engine does it have?
It's got a 400 Cummins big cam in it. It's got a 13-speed transmission, 411 rear ends.
Okay.
Rear end.
Okay. Yeah, just the one.
So we've very minimal engine work. We've resealed the engine oil pan, put an oil pan in it because the old one was busted. We've installed jakes because it did not originally have jakes on it. Resealed the top end, new set of injectors, new motor mounts, transmission mounts. It was originally, when you see the picture, it was originally a tandem truck. It was a dump truck when we got it. It was wrecked. So drive lines were made, cross members were made. So yeah, like I said, we've touched every part of this truck.
Well,
so
you've done a little bit of engine work. Did you not paint the valve covers on that? I
actually did not. Travis painted them.
Oh,
so
okay.
the valve covers are red, white, and blue. Kind of goes with our company logos. I'm not going to roll the hood because it would kind of shame this truck. And I'm not done with it. This truck is not in service yet.
No, not at all.
So there will be things you may notice in the video, or I may point out, that are not finished. This truck is not in service.
Yeah.
It's very close, and it has been to a truck show. It has won a truck show. It has ran down the Tulsa drag strip. It has been on television. So, I mean, it is very close, but it is not in service. Hence why my welder here is not on the truck. There is no tools in this truck, but it is close. So you said you wanted to start out on the cab. So
start on the cab.
I've got several images of this truck we can post, including cab shots. So this truck is fit out with complete custom interior. It's all diamond stitched with the blue buttons. We put the floating vinyl wood floor in it, new Legacy air ride seats. There's still some stuff on the dash we need to do, button up. Like I said, I'm just kind of driving it to work the kinks out of it right now. Striker 955 CB, the dual resolution watermelons in it. Still got to put the spotlights in it. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Like I said, I'm just kind of driving it home to work the kinks out of it. During the day, it stays at the shop. It's been on one service call so far, just because I needed the crane, where some guys laid a skid steer and a trailer over in a bar ditch. So this truck and our other truck went and secured that. Okay. So everything as far as chrome and bolt-on is all brand new. This truck had the pause.
All right, well, we're back because, life still occurs and phone calls still happen. So
Yeah.
Here we go. We are back. So where were we at here with
Yeah, so basically what I was saying is everything on this truck is brand new. It's when we got the truck, it was a wreck dump truck. It had the factory air cleaners. It had a ragged out interior in it. This truck originally had a sleeper on it. So
and a single air cleaner as well too, yes?
Yeah, a lot of them factory were. So it did not have the driver's side air cleaner on it. It had the oil cooler on the side, which is no longer on the truck. So went to 4 states. It's got a complete 7-inch flat top with the long drop elbows on it. Both new battery boxes, new Vortex air cleaners. It's got a new set of, I'd be lying to you if I told you the brand, but it's got a new set of 24.5 aluminum Bud wheels. Fleet Pride hooked us up on those. If you're looking for a set of new Bud wheels, Fleet Pride you go to, and they were really reasonable on price. I think we paid $1,100 for 4 of them. So we can go on ahead and walk around it. So most of our trucks are red and white. We went ahead and did blue and white on this truck to kind of change it up. It has got, so most of our job sites, like I said, we are site civil contractors mainly. So we do a lot of big housing developments, apartment complexes, things like that. So most of our job sites, granted, we have utility crews and things like that, but a big part of our job sites would be fresh construction. So these trucks spend 99% of their time in the dirt. So this bumper here is a 20-inch that's not Valley Chrome. I can't remember the brand of it. But it is a blind mount. It's got a 12-gauge custom airlift kit behind it. So this bumper comes out and raises about 6 to 8 inches of ground clearance added to it. And then we put the watermelon lights in the bottom of it. It's got the original grill surround in it. We just kind of sanded it and polished it. Obviously, it's not perfect. But this truck is a 1980 model. So for what it is, it's in pretty good shape.
Hence the class of 80.
Yeah. So the visor that's on it was on it when I got it. Mirror.
Really?
Yeah, that is the visor that was on the truck when I got it.
Okay.
Mirrors, we've replaced all the mirrors. Add mismatched mirrors and brackets on it, so those are heated mirrors. I reused the dual round headlight assemblies because those are outrageous. You go to replace them, and it's got the old school look. That was something I tried to keep with this truck, was kind of a mix of modern and old school look. So we kept those on there. The fenders, the original steel fenders, were absolute junk. So these are fiberglass fenders from 4 states. I was going to put the drop sides on there. If you guys know anything about trucks, you know what I'm talking about, the drop sides. But unfortunately, at the time, they didn't have them, and I was in a hurry to get it built. And I was thinking about pulling the blocks out from under the springs in the front, which would have dropped it quite a bit, and I'd have had issues turning. So I went ahead with the OE style, but they are the fiberglass, and then we had to drill all the holes for all the lights and everything in it. It's basically the same thing down this side. It had 2 fuel tanks on it when I got it. It had this tank, which was actually under the cab with a set of bent up steps on it. And then it had a long 110-gallon tank, I believe it was, on the driver's side in the same position this tank is in now. That tank was cracked out, it was junk, and with the way we were building the truck, it just wasn't going to work. So I slid this tank back and put dual battery boxes on it just to kind of proportionalize and just kind of make it blend together. I still have plans to put the light brackets underneath the cab, and if I get my 3 trumpet train horns, they'll be up here where my air dryer's on the other side, because believe it or not, this truck did not have an air dryer on it either when I got it.
Oh.
So that is something I've added. So moving on back, like I said, in the front, it's basically just a classic old truck, and it had the trumpet, the factory trumpets on the roof. They were garbage. They weren't even hooked up. It's got a set on the firewall, which is hooked up now. They're nothing special. It's just kind of a replacement.
They still make racket.
So I had intentions of replacing the ones on the roof after I got it painted. But anybody knows those are also expensive. And honestly, the look of not having them up there kind of grew on me. And so I didn't end up putting them back. So it will get the 3 or 4 trumpet train horns. It will have all the loud, cool shit on it, but it does not have it right now.
I'll be honest with you, I like the cleaner look of it.
It does look good. Well, and then you add the headache rack up there and everything else. So we'll go ahead and move on back here. So another cool thing about this truck is, and I'll make note of this also when we get on the driver's side, it's kind of easier to see just because it doesn't have this big box. So I'll have you come back around here where you can see everything. So this box here and the weld deck and the headache rack and there's a box on the other side, like I said, I'll make note of. This is all hand fabricated. This was all scratch material we built completely by hand. So this box here is going to be for all of our chain rigging. I'll be able to put floor jack, or not floor jacks, but bottle jacks are 22-ton jack stands for big trucks and equipment. So, like I said, this is all hand built. Like these chain hooks here are actually T-bolts for utility water line stuff. We had them laying around in our shop because, like I said, we have utility crews. So I repurposed those, and then actually scored this air compressor that's here behind this box on Marketplace. I think I paid $200 or $250 for it. It's a 120-gallon air tank, and then it's got it had a 3-phase electric motor on it, and we junked the 3-phase electric motor, left the main compressor. We've put a hydraulic motor on it, so it will be PTO powered with a diverter valve to run back to our cable or our knuckle boom crane back there. And then we actually lucked out on this bed because trying to get with Napa Hide and those kind of guys, we were over a year out on beds. This is actually a lineman style bed you would see on your typical line trucks. We bought this bed used, got a score of a deal on it. It's I think it's a little over 11 foot all-tech bed. Obviously lineman style. So when we bought the bed, it had originally been on like a truck. I don't think it was on a bucket truck. It would have been on a line truck that had the auger on it. So it had a huge hole in the back of the bed, and then it had the typical line style, big bumper welded on the back. I cut all that off, did a bunch of metal work to the back of it because it was kind of beat up, patched the hole in the floorboard, new bed floor, and so that's where we got with that. So we got super lucky when we found that on Purple Wave. Like I said before, this truck was a dump truck before, so when we built this truck, I took the front drive axle out, left the rear, and then, so this truck's a 265-inch wheelbase truck now, and then, so the original frame was bobbed about right there where the back of the bed is. So everything behind the back of the bed is about 10 feet worth of frame extensions we put in it, which is all 12 by 1 inch flat bar plate. So we ran it, so it's still a leaf spring ride truck, it's not air ride. So we ran it all the way up to the front leaf hanger, drilled all the holes, so it slid all the way up in the frame rail. It's got 4 points of attachment between the 4 leaf spring hanger mounts, and then we stitch welded it in the frame rail. This is not an aluminum frame truck, it is actually a steel frame truck. And then we slid it out the back, whatever the difference is, 8 or 9 feet. So we built this truck off of our other truck, which I believe you've posted pictures of. If not, we can drop one here, which we may do anyways, just as a reminder.
Just a reminder for those that haven't seen it.
So that's kind of that was the blueprint for this truck. However, that truck being the first one built, this was the second, there were some things we changed. My workbench is longer on this truck. The wheelbase on this truck is longer just because of what it was. When he built that other truck, it was already a single axle truck. It had a tilt dump bed on it, flatbed. He was building off what he had. I just got lucky and had the longer wheelbase. So this truck is longer. When we come back here, so it's got a National N85 knuckle boom on it, which if you want to zoom into that plate right there, because I know some people may have the specs or want the specs. It is a 14.4 capacity crane at fold. So these cranes are super hard to find. This is actually the third one we've owned. We actually had to buy a complete truck that this crane was on to get this crane. off a Purple Wave. So we got lucky when I found this crane because we were having hell.
Well, Purple Wave is the Facebook marketplace of business.
Especially for us, yeah. So bought this crane. The outriggers there, they were rotted out, so I had to go in and redo them. A lot of the cylinders had to be rebuilt. The extension cylinders, the fold cylinder, I had to repack a bunch of cylinders. This crane is old. It's older than the truck.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I did a bunch of that, and then, so I guess should kind of explain this to you in stages. So I basically stripped the truck down. I had it where it was drivable. It was just the cab, the hood, and frame. There was nothing else. Once I got it to that point, like I said, we went through, did all the motor work. I mean, it was basically, I did everything I could do before it could go to paint shop. So I sent the truck down to paint. We hauled it down there. We'll drop a picture right now of the truck before it went to paint shop. And then I got it back. It was, like I said, cab, hood. I mean, you could drive it, but it was nowhere, and there was nothing. It was bare. You could not drive it on the road. So we hauled it down there, hauled it back. When I got the truck back, went to the chrome shop, bought everything I wanted. Basically, when I got the truck back from paint, I wanted to be able to put it on the road and drive it if I had to. So we built the truck. The bed I had sent down and had painted prior just because it was just sitting there after I did the metal work. So the bed was solid white. I had drilled my holes for all my lights down the side of it, which you will see in the next video that we're going to shoot tonight in the dark. This thing is lit up like a Christmas tree.
Absolutely.
So the bed got sent down, and it had been sitting in our yard for a while. So once I got the truck back, then we extended the frame. Once we got the frame extended, I pulled this crane off of the other truck it was on, because the truck it was on, it was sitting right behind the cab, so there really wasn't a whole lot I could do with it. So I set it on here, got it plumbed in, and then the crane was bright orange. So once it was on this truck, I tore it apart and then did everything. Now, coming back into here, this entire back end of this truck, this box here goes all the way through. So this will hold all of our long bars, shovels, sledgehammers, all stuff like that. Tail light bar is a piece of, 2 by 3 by 6, I believe, rectangle tubing that we took and cut holes in for tail lights. It's welded into that is actually part of that box. Then we've dropped this down. This is 1 by 10 and 1 by 12 plate, welded in for a receiver. Our flat deck's 3-inch channel by 3/16 plate that we've welded across here. It will have, obviously it'll have a vise on it and all that good shit. Like I said, I just haven't got to it yet. And then coming up off the workbench, we've got the rack there with all of our hose reels. So this tank over here on the other side, which we can pan back into later or earlier in the video. So this tank over here is going to be waste oil tank. There's a tank on that side of the frame rail in the same position that's going to be clean hydraulic, and it's got ram oil pump in it. So this valve here is going to be for the waste tank, and then that's the waste pump. So the waste pump, we can suck oil out of machines or out of drain pans into this tank, flip this diverter, and that pump will reverse and suck it out of that tank and into our waste tanks at the shop or yard or wherever we're pumping it off. So up here, I'm still a hose reel short. I'm still missing my waste oil hose reel. It's still on order. So this is going to be our clean oil hose reel. It'll run out of that tank there. This is grease. We've got a grease keg that's going to go in the back of the truck and runs off of air. I've got it at the shop, I haven't got it in the truck yet. Now we've got 1/2 inch and 3/8 air. Here we've got, so like I said, obviously the welder and the torch bottles and all that's at the front of the truck. So here we've got a rack that slides out. The pistons are nothing but looks. But this rack slides out. We've got a spring mount or spring latch here. This slides out the back. These pistons are out of an X15 Cummins or ISX Cummins. So basically what we'll have on here is one will be a stinger reel for a welder, ground, torch hoses, and then we'll have one for an electrical or electric extension cord. And they may not be in that order, but that's what they're for. They'll run from the boxes up front down the frame rail to here. And then, like I said, that will stay stored up there unless we're using it. Then we'll slide it out, whatever. So then we come on up here. So this is the tank. Basically, it's the same idea on the other side for the waste tank. It's just doesn't have this pump. This pump is for, because it will only pump out. That's what this is for, the hydraulic oil pump out. Also on our other truck, his crane, he's got the same crane on it, but it's a little bit different setup just because it was used for something different before. So this is a factory hydraulic tank for this crane and outriggers. This is part of the skid. So this is what we're running everything off of on this truck. So there's that. This is a manual driven crane and outrigger originally. The outrigger side of this valve was messed up, so we've gone in here and put a 4-bank new control valve for the outriggers. We got our diverter valve, which will be between the crane and the compressor. And there's behind this plate here is an electronic valve. So basically, when this is finished, I will have a wireless remote I'll be able to run the crane off of, start the truck off of, shut the truck off of. But say a crane remote dies, or something weird happens, I can still run it off of the manual controls. So it'll basically loop through both valves. So moving back up, let me see if this is unlocked. I believe it is. So this will be the main side for all of our tools, and this unistrut, kind of going backwards here, but this unistrut here we welded on top of the box, so it will have the black toolboxes up on top. It'll have more storage on top. Actually, from about here forward, here on both sides, it will have the either 15 or 25 gallon like spray tanks from Atwoods or Tractor Supply, with the electric motors on them. The one on that side will probably be antifreeze. That way, it won't be a whole lot, but if I got to carry antifreeze, I can carry antifreeze. This side will be fresh water, and I'll have it to a switch and conduit coming down. And it will be just fresh water for cleaning washing my hands, my arms, anything like that before I go get in this brand new truck interior. Yeah, it's kind of bougie for a service truck, but if you can do it, you do it.
That's right.
So back here in the back, we've taken 2 Montezuma triangle boxes and fit them in back here in the back box. This will be for all my sockets, my regular wrenches. I'll have one for manual, or one for metric, one for standard, vice versa, one or the other. So that's what that is. This box is empty. This is not where chains are going to go. I know chains are in here right now. This was like I said, the service call we had to run on the other day. I had to throw chains in and out of my other truck, and this is where they got. So these hooks here. So this box, I believe, this may change. Like I said, it all changes when you start rigging a truck out. But I believe 1 7/16", 1 3/8" wrenches and above, metric and standard, I believe are going to get hung in here. That way they're not just thrown down in a box. And then down here in the bottom we'll put O-ring kits, or I got a bunch of cases, different tooling, whatever it may be. And then these front 2 boxes, we've got some C-Tech drawer packs that are all mounted in here. So this will be where the miscellaneous stuff kind of goes, screwdrivers and pliers and maybe some small hammers and specialty wrenches, all things like that. So both of these front boxes have those. This one, I've actually got a microwave in my other truck that I would like to fit in here somewhere. It's small, but it's really nice to have one on a service truck because you never know where you're going to be. So I've got the microwave and a power inverter, so all my power tools will go in here somewhere. Like I said, it's hard to say because I'm not rigging it out yet. So, okay, so if you want to pan out over here. So this is kind of what I was talking about on the other side. This is all hand built. We built this box separate. It was on the floor when we built this box, with every intent of installing it in this weld deck. But when we built this weld deck, it was square just because it was easier to build. It's got 1-inch square tubing is the base and the frame of this weld deck here, with 3-inch on the outside. Now if you come up here to the and feel it, this 3-inch channel is nothing but looks, but it's perfect for our work light or our button lights, and things like that. So when we did the dimensions on this and we built this, like I said, we built this box to go in here and drop. So when we mounted this box, all we did was cut a hole in this and stick it in there. However, it was a lot more work than that, because when we built this, we built it to be the same drop length, bottom height as this bed, and we built it to be just as tall with this 5/8 channel and the square boxes that are going to go on the truck, it would all be the same height, top and bottom. Now that sounds really easy right now, but when we built this, none of this was on the truck. The bed wasn't on the truck, the wheel deck wasn't on the truck. We were doing it in the shop floor. So it sounds really simple right now, but when we built this, it was not that simple. This was an afterthought. My original plan was to build a slide out ice chest rack right here, and I had intentions of doing that when the truck was at paint. So I guess I should touch on that. So like I said earlier, we set the truck down to paint. It was the cab, the hood, rolling chassis. And the bed had been painted prior by itself. We threw it on a trailer. When I got the truck back, I mounted the bed. I mounted that back there, and everything on the back of the truck's hand-built. Once I got the crane and everything redone, I drove it to the paint shop, and he painted the frame, everything on the back of the truck, and the blue stripe on the bed. Now, we'll drop a picture right here when I got it back from paint shop. This deck was not on it. While it was at paint shop, I was finishing this. So, back to where I was, none of this was together when we were doing the dimensions for all of this. So, once we did that, cut the hole for this, ground this out for this door to open, and we can go ahead and open this up. Now this is a perfect size. This will hold oxygen and acetylene bottles with the regulators. There's going to be bulkheads on the back side of this box to go out. I can bulkhead it in, and my lines going down my frame rail back there to my rack. Now this is not empty box. It's got all my cleaning stuff in it because, like I said, it has been to a truck show. So this is perfect size. We can put oxygen and acetylene bottles in here. There will be, I just kind of made these. This will be for all my my grinding cutoff and wire wheels will hang in here. My welding hood will hang in here. So that's kind of what that is. D-rings are welded in here to strap the oxygen and acetylene bottles into. Like I said, this is all handmade. So we built all this and then cut the holes for the latches, made it all work. It is all built from scratch, 100%. None of this was prefabbed other than this Tractor Supply box here in the front. So then, like I said, moving on up to here, I had it, so going back to where I said this truck was at the paint shop when I was finishing this. When I was building this, I had intentions of putting a slide-out ice chest rack here. Well, luckily, I didn't build that when the truck was gone because there's actually an air tank that... Okay, so a little bit of a camera mess up there, so we're just going to kind of jump back into it. So, like I said, this was all being completed when the truck was at paint shop, so I didn't have the truck here. So luckily, I didn't build this. This was going to be a slide-out ice chest rack. That is a cool idea I was going to do. There's an air tank mounted underneath the frame rail. Just a truck air tank that I had forgotten about. So luckily I didn't build that and then be like, oh shit, it won't work. So when I got the truck back, I realized that. So I also got to thinking, well, I got a place for my oxygen and acetylene bottles. I got a place for my grinder wheels and that kind of thing. I don't have a place for my welding rod, my gloves, my face shields, all that kind of, my strikers, clamps, whatever. I don't have a place for any of that. So a guy ran down, picked this up, obviously from Tractor Supply, real fast. I built a bracket just to hang it under there. That's why it does not match everything we worked so hard to do. On the bottom, it does not match, but it's very close. So it's an empty box, obviously, right now, but it will hold all of my welding rod, gloves, strikers, clamps, anything I need for fabricating will probably be in there. And then the angle iron here, I got an old Miller welder that I've had all the hood and surrounds painted this same color blue so it matches the truck. It'll sit right here, and it was on the truck. If we drop pictures of the truck at the show, it was on the truck for that. So it'll sit right there. So that's just a little bit better idea, kind of what we built by hand that you couldn't see from the other side. We went ahead and did the CB mount on the center of the headache rack because I didn't want to keep drilling holes in my doors. I already got the heated mirrors and the turn signals, running lights on the mirrors and all that kind of stuff. The holes in the doors just weren't enough. Plus, these panels here, anybody knows Peterbilt knows that these panels are really bad about breaking out. These are replacement panels I put on the truck, which you will notice in the picture we dropped from before it went to the paint shop. So I didn't want to keep drilling holes in my doors, so I went ahead and put the CB antenna on the headache rack, and this truck will have a cell booster in it, so that antenna will be back there as well. Man, I don't know. If you want to kind of pan in on the crane, I can kind of try to explain that. Like I said earlier, it's an N85 National Knuckle Boom. So in this present state, it's got one extension out. It's got 2 hydraulic extensions in it total, and it's got 1 manual. So it goes way farther out than that, which I think you can kind of see. If not, we can drop a picture from the truck show. I had it. I had the 2 hydraulics out. I did not have the manual out. So it'll be out. And then aside from that, it's really kind of, that's about it. It's been, like I said, it's been a year and a half of building it, and looking at it, it's like, oh, that ain't shit. But it's been a lot of work, a lot of hours building this truck.
Where it came from to where it is now, it's a lot.
Yeah. So I'm proud of it. Everybody else is proud of it. It definitely turns heads. It's something the company's proud of. I do not personally own this truck. This is a company truck. I work for the coolest guy you could work for. Say what you want. And it is not the first one we built. Like I said before, this is the second one. This truck was built off of our other one. And we'll drop pictures in there. So it was a kind of a blueprint. Basically, the build, aside from the weld deck, just because I had more room, is basically his blueprint. Like this truck's just longer, so I had a little more room there. Now we have our own style. So his truck, you know, it's got the herd cattle guard on it, and he's got different stacks, different stickers, you know. I mean, it is a different truck, and he's original welder, so he's got the old SA200 Lincoln welder on it and that kind of thing. So it's a badass truck in its own. They are 2 very similar yet very different trucks, and it's cool to be able to go and show them together. So that's really kind of all I got for it, honestly, until we do our video later tonight. You guys can see it all lit up, and yeah, I look forward to putting it in service.
Hell yeah. Well,
so let you go ahead and do your video. Or.
So that's I mean that's pretty much it. We've definitely got some more video later tonight, and we'll here I'll get the microphone just in case you can't hear me, but I know you normally can. So we'll do some more video later tonight with it all lit up for you guys to see. Plus we've got an audio podcast. We'll do a little more discussion on that, and just kind of the this and that of it, and what the future of it may be. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. If you're late, you're lost.